In the early 1900s, a group of Boy Scouts embarked on a camping trip in the middle of the Virginia woods. The only person that came out of those woods alive was the Scoutmaster. Let's talk about that. Now, I know you guys are probably getting a little tired of all the spooky stories. No, I'm just kidding. You guys love this stuff, and I love this stuff too. And today we're getting a little more into the creepy side, the spooky side, ghost stories and such. Because today we are telling the story of the Dunlora witch. Now, the Dunlora witch was said to have been a woman who owned a mansion in the woods in Virginia in the late 19th century. She died, or something like that. Whatever the story may be, it's not entirely clear. And from then on, she haunted these woods for the years to come. In the summer of 1920, a group of Boy Scouts embarked on a camping trip into the middle of these Virginia woods. They made camp on the property a couple of miles away from the mansion, and after they made their camp, they all decided to turn in for the night. In the middle of the night, the Scoutmaster had heard a noise. When he got up to investigate, he checked the tents of his 6 Boy Scouts, and they were nowhere to be found. Of course, the leader decided to go off into the woods and find his missing Eagle Scouts, hollering their names, searching far and wide, and he was unable to find them. He then came across the Dunlora mansion, an abandoned mansion in the middle of the Virginia woods. He went inside the mansion in search of at least some of his scouts, maybe all of his scouts, but he couldn't find them anywhere. While he was standing in the mansion, he then heard the voice of one of his scouts coming from the basement. He went down to the basement to investigate, but none of them were anywhere to be found. The only thing he found in the basement was one of his Eagle Scouts' hats. After finding the hat, he heard a creak, to which he turned around, and inches from his face stood the Dunlora witch herself. Of course, he screamed at the top of his lungs and ran back out into the forest, screaming the names of his Eagle Scouts. Because at this point, you have to wonder, what happened to my Eagle Scouts? Where are they? You just witnessed this creepy woman, and now you're scared for your life, scared for the life of your boys. As he ran through the woods, he eventually came across a dirt road. And what he saw on the other side of the dirt road is purely terrifying. On the side opposite of the scout leader stood all 6 of his Eagle Scouts, standing in unison, completely still, not making a sound or a noise, with their insides spilling out onto the road. The Scoutmaster ran as far as he could, got hold of the authorities to have them come and investigate. When the authorities made their way out to the woods, they checked the dirt road and they didn't find the Eagle Scouts anywhere. They didn't find the witch anywhere. So they went back to the campsite, to which they found all 6 Eagle Scouts lying disemboweled in their own tents. Not too far from the campsite, the police found the Scoutmaster's bloody knife, and then they discovered not too far from the camp a bloody knife stuck in a tree stump, which in fact belonged to the Eagle Scoutmaster himself. The police took him in and they tried him and arrested him for the murder of the Eagle Scouts. Now I know what you're thinking. This is definitely a story of a man who led a bunch of children into the woods and then just killed them, took their lives. But I really think that there is more to this story. I really do think that the Dunlora witch might be real. And do you know why I think that this witch might be real? Because a year later, 6 trees appeared on the side of the road where the scoutmaster said he saw his boys with their insides hanging out, all in perfect unison on the side of the road. One of the trees on the end of the row of trees was a twisted and mangled dead tree. Now, many believe that these trees are in fact haunted by the spirit of the dead Eagle Scouts. Some think that maybe they're just trees that got planted there in memory of the Eagle Scouts. But I do believe that the souls of those scouts possess the trees on the side of the road, not too far away from the Dunlora mansion, where the witch herself murdered those 6 scouts. I like this story a lot. This is, in my opinion, a perfect, short, good ghost story. Because it really embodies these tales that we hear about this part of the country, about the east part of the country, the Appalachian Mountain region. It's so believable, but it also shows itself as this case of insanity, that this man led these kids in the wood into the woods and murdered them. I mean, that's literally what it looks like on the surface. But the further you look at it, the strange trees, the old mansion, the tale of the witch to begin with, I think that it might be true. Now, people who live in this certain region of Virginia are not fond of the traction that this tale gets. Lots of ghost hunters come out to the Dunlora neighborhood. I think it's like an old neighborhood. It's called the Dunlora neighborhood. People come out to this area and look in this mansion. They do like ghost hunting videos in this mansion, and a lot of people in the nearby area don't really like it, which makes me wonder if they know that this story is true. Or maybe they're just sensitive that this happened in the early 1900s and it was a horrible tragedy and they don't really like people making content out of it. But I think it's interesting. I think there's substance to it. I think there's something there. What do I think is there? A witch who's haunting these woods. Now, would I go to this mansion? Probably not. Mostly out of respect for the people that live in the nearby area. Also, I live in Arizona. I don't live anywhere near Virginia. The other reason I wouldn't go is because I don't want to try to find it and get lost in Appalachia. Because apparently, in order to go to this mansion, you kind of have to like know somebody who knows where it is. Like, people know where it is, but you have to know where it is. You can't just like look it up on a map. So in conclusion, the Dunlora mansion is probably going to go down as one of my favorite ghost stories of all time. It's bizarre. It's terrible. And it embodies everything that I love about a good, scary story. And I hope you guys were scared too. And I hope you guys will like, comment, and subscribe. Follow, share, do all the things. Click the bell. There's a little bell. Do we still click the bell? Do people still click the bell on YouTube? I don't know. I hope you do all those things. And I hope you guys will come back for another episode. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!